Imagine standing under a sky that begins to shimmer with thousands of fiery streaks, every asteroid in our solar system suddenly turning its path toward Earth. It's a terrifying vision, one that stretches the limits of imagination and science. But let's explore this thought experiment carefully. Could our planet, in any way, survive if every asteroid hit it at once? To begin, let's understand what we're talking about. The solar system contains millions of asteroids, rocky fragments left over from the birth of planets about 4.6 billion years ago. Most orbit peacefully in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, while others wander across the solar system. Some are as small as pebbles, others, like Ceres, are nearly 1,000 kilometers wide. When we imagine every asteroid striking Earth, we're talking about a bombardment so vast that the very surface of our planet would be transformed forever. The first few impacts would already cause unimaginable destruction. Each large asteroid carries enormous kinetic energy, enough to vaporize oceans, ignite global firestorms, and throw billions of tons of dust into the atmosphere. Even one asteroid, just 10 kilometers wide, like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago, can destroy almost all life on Earth. Now imagine not one, but millions of such impacts happening across every continent and ocean within hours or days. The heat generated would be beyond anything the planet has ever experienced. Every collision would release energy equivalent to millions of nuclear bombs. The crust would melt. Mountains would collapse into seas of lava. The atmosphere would fill with thick, dark smoke and superheated gases, blocking sunlight completely. Temperatures would soar near the surface and then plunge as dust choked the sky, creating a deadly global winter. The oceans would boil, then freeze, and finally evaporate into space. If we step back to think scientifically, we realize that Earth's physical body, the rock and metal sphere, would likely survive. Planets are incredibly resilient objects. Even if every asteroid struck it, Earth wouldn't disappear or be shattered entirely, because its mass and gravity are immense. However, life, as we know it, would not survive. Every ecosystem would collapse, every living creature would perish, and even microorganisms deep underground might struggle to live in the toxic aftermath. But could anything at all endure? Possibly. Deep below the surface, far beneath the crust, there might remain some bacteria or extremophiles shielded from the worst heat. After millions of years, if the surface cooled again, life might return, just as it did after the catastrophic impacts that shaped early Earth billions of years ago. In fact, some scientists believe asteroid bombardments long ago may have even helped life begin by bringing water and organic molecules from space. So, in a strange twist of fate, the same forces that could destroy Earth today once helped create it. From a human perspective, however, survival would be impossible. Our cities, technology, and civilizations depend on a stable planet, breathable air, moderate climate, and sunlight. The asteroid apocalypse would erase everything we have built. No bunker could protect us from the chain of impacts that would shake the planet to its core. The sky itself would burn, continents would melt, the magnetic field might even be disturbed by the immense changes in Earth's crust. Still, imagining this doomsday scenario makes us realize how fragile and precious our world truly is. It also highlights why scientists and engineers across the world monitor near-Earth objects daily. NASA, ESA, and other space agencies track thousands of asteroids, calculating their orbits with incredible precision. Missions like NASA's DART have already demonstrated that we can change the path of an asteroid, a small but powerful step toward protecting our planet from future impacts. So while the idea of every asteroid hitting Earth is pure imagination, an impossible nightmare, it reminds us of an important truth. Our survival depends on knowledge, vigilance, and cooperation. The universe is vast and sometimes dangerous, but we are no longer helpless. With science, technology, and unity, humanity has the power to defend its home. In the end, Earth might not survive such an impossible cosmic assault, but we can ensure it never happens. And perhaps, just perhaps, that's the beauty of our existence, that we can look up at the endless sky, understand its dangers, and still find hope in our ability to dream, explore, and protect the fragile blue world we call home. The sky was no longer blue. It was a thick ocean of ash and glowing dust, swirling like smoke from a dying fire. Once, the earth had been filled with the songs of birds and the whispers of waves, but now, silence ruled. The great asteroid storm had ended, leaving behind a world unrecognizable. Mountains had melted into black rivers of stone. Oceans had boiled away, leaving steaming craters where once whales had danced. The continents themselves seemed to breathe, expanding and cracking as molten lava oozed through wounds in the crust. The very air shimmered with heat and poison. The old Earth, the Earth of humans, forests, and oceans, was gone. And yet, beneath the surface, something stirred. Deep underground, in ancient caverns where sunlight had never reached, tiny life forms began to move. They were bacteria, the oldest, toughest creatures ever to live. Protected by kilometers of rock, they had survived the inferno above. To them, the catastrophe was just another long, dark winter. They waited, silently, patiently, for the world to heal. Centuries passed. The fiery glow faded. Rain fell again. Acid at first, then pure. The crust cooled. The ocean slowly returned, filling the scars of the impacts. Lightning danced across the skies, creating new molecules, perhaps the first signs of rebirth. In time, a new dawn began to rise over the broken planet. Strange new continents formed from the ashes of the old. The sky cleared enough for the sun to pierce through. Weak, orange, but real. Volcanoes breathed out gases that rebuilt the atmosphere, and comets that once destroyed the planet now delivered water, drop by drop, life by life. Millions of years later, green returned. Small at first, like whispers of hope. Mosses, algae, and primitive plants spread across the coasts. The air became rich with oxygen once more. Evolution began its slow, endless work, sculpting creatures that would one day walk, swim, and fly. And perhaps, billions of years after the Great Impact Storm, somewhere in a lush valley, a new intelligent species looked up at the stars, just as we once did, and wondered who came before them. Maybe they would find the fossils of our cities buried deep in the rock, the ghostly outlines of our bones, or fragments of our machines. They might name their world Earth, never realizing it was the same world reborn from fire and stone. In that sense, maybe Earth did survive, not as we knew it, but as something new, stronger, and eternal. The planet had died, yes, but it had also learned to begin again. That's the greatest mystery of the cosmos. Destruction is never the end. It's a doorway. So if one day the sky again fills with light and fire, and the asteroids come roaring down from the heavens, perhaps we can take comfort in this thought, that life, in some form, always finds a way. The earth may fall silent, but it never truly dies. Its heart keeps beating beneath the ashes, waiting for the next sunrise. After the storm of destruction, Earth slowly began to heal. From the ashes of countless impacts, oceans reformed, clouds gathered, and life, tiny, fragile, but determined, returned once more. The planet that had been silenced by fire and darkness was reborn in a new form, with strange forests, silver skies, and creatures unlike any before. Humanity was gone, but Earth remembered. The scars of craters and the ruins of cities became silent witnesses to what once was, a reminder that even in total devastation, the planet endures. In the end, Earth did survive, not by avoiding change, but by embracing it. It evolved, transformed, and found balance again. And perhaps that is the true secret of survival in the universe, that from destruction comes creation, from death comes life, and from every ending, a new beginning always waits to rise beneath the stars.